Clashes continue in Egypt following a deadly soccer match. Why protesters are lashing out at police.
And a controversial decision by the Susan G. Komen Foundation. Now officials are apologizing. We have the details.
Plus, a radiation leak raises safety concerns at San Onofre. Is the public at risk?
And later, will you be moving your Super Bowl party indoors? We'll have the weekend weather forecast for you. Newscene starts right now.
Hello and welcome to this year's first edition of Newscene. I'm Laura Kaplan-Nieto.
And I'm Justin Watson. Thank you for joining us.
Clashes in Egypt continue as thousands protest the handling of a deadly soccer match. Protesters gathered outside the Interior Ministry in Cairo, forcing police to use tear gas. 79 people were killed in a riot at a soccer match Wednesday. Protesters blame police and a lack of security. They call for an immediate end to military rule, which is still in place a year after the revolution that ousted President Hosni Mubarak. It is now being reported that 5 people were killed in this most recent riot, and over 1,500 people were injured.
Italian officials are calling off the search for victims off the Costa Concordia cruise ship disaster. The cruise ship capsized off the western coast of Italy on January 13th. Italy's Civil Protection Agency says conditions are too risky for divers to continue the search in the interior of the half-submerged liner. So far, 15 people are confirmed dead and 17 are still missing. Families of those still missing have been informed of the decision, but crews will continue to inspect areas above the waterline and on the seabed for victims.
And only 3 days after pulling funding from Planned Parenthood, the Susan G. Komen Foundation has reversed its decision. The organization, a major fundraiser for breast cancer research, faced a wave of backlash online, with many local Komen affiliates speaking out against Komen National's decision. Nancy Brinker, Komen's CEO, had cited new stringent eligibility standards in the decision to cut ties with Planned Parenthood. However, there are claims that right-wing groups pushed for the change. Komen's own Vice President, Karen Handel, a Republican politician, has been open about her opposition to Planned Parenthood. In response, thousands spoke out and raised donations to ensure the women's health provider could continue offering breast exam services.
Nationally, Planned Parenthood provides 750,000 breast cancer screenings each year. 170,000 of those are made possible by the grants from Susan G. Komen Foundation. Already, people have stepped up and said that they want to fill the gap. They want to help ensure that no women are denied access to life-saving breast cancer screenings.
Planned Parenthood sees 4 million patient visits a year and 250,000 in San Diego alone.
Pfizer's pharmaceutical company is recalling 1 million birth control packs because of a manufacturing problem. The company says the placebo tablets and pills containing the active ingredient were placed in the wrong order. This puts women who take the pills at a higher risk of unplanned pregnancies. Products being recalled are the low Overo 28, the generic Nogestro, and the ethinyl estradiol tablets. The company was notified when a woman noticed discolored pills in her pack. Pfizer is advising women to use alternative methods of birth control.
And Facebook is finally going public. With over 500 investors, they are legally required to file for an initial public offering, or IPO. This means that individuals and companies can now own a piece of Facebook. According to the company, each stock is worth about $29.73. But what does that mean for Facebook users? Well, more of your user data will be sold to advertisers who ring up about 85% of Facebook's revenue.
On the scale that they're going to be operating, they're going to need massive amounts of cash to reinvest in the business. And so, this is kind of them moving up to that next level.
On the bright side, this could provide up to $1 billion, helping California's deficit. If all goes well, investors can see benefits of their stocks within at least 2 years.
Republican candidate Mitt Romney is leading the pack after the Florida primary. This comes as a huge win for Romney after losing to rival Newt Gingrich in South Carolina. Although the tables have turned for Romney in the Florida primary, Gingrich shows no signs of backing down. Gingrich says he's putting together a campaign for the people, not the Republican Party. Meanwhile, Rick Santorum is coming in third place and Ron Paul following closely behind with just 7% of the votes. All candidates are looking forward to the upcoming primary to be held in Nevada tomorrow.
And San Diego mayoral candidates filed campaign finance reports on Tuesday. According to the forms filed with the city clerk's office, Councilman Carl DeMaio and Assemblyman Nathan Fletcher raised the most campaign funds. DeMaio raised $976,000 in 2011, with nearly half of the grand total coming out of his own pocket. Fletcher raised about $775,000 in 2011 and did not use any of his own money. As for the other two mayoral candidates, Representative Bob Filner reported a total of $213,000, and District Attorney Bonnie Jamanis did not file.
A day after reports of a gas leak at the San Onofre nuclear power plant, officials confirmed the gas was in fact radioactive. On Tuesday evening, an alarm alerted station personnel of a leak in a steam generator tube. Since then, the nuclear reactor has remained shut off for testing and maintenance. According to the plant's representative, the low level of radioactivity escaped into the environment will not be a threat to the public health and safety.
The jury is still out for the woman accused of murdering her Navy doctor husband. Jennifer Trayers says she was upset after learning of his affair, and she remembers stabbing him one time and then claims to have blacked out. But Lieutenant Commander Frederick Trayers was stabbed a total of 10 times. If convicted, she faces 26 years to life in prison.
And to sad news, family and friends of a young boy from San Isidro lay him to rest. 13-year-old Ulysses Castrejón was found dead on Saturday night in Tijuana. Police say 3 gunmen with high-caliber weapons broke into a family birthday party. The 8th grade student was one of 5 victims killed that night. The boy and 4 other men were shot execution style. The victims were related to a former Tijuana cop who was involved with the Sinaloa cartel.
A youth fencing coach could face 11 years in prison for sexual abuse. 49-year-old Vijay Prasad allegedly began a sexual relationship with a then 15-year-old student while teaching at La Jolla Country Day School in 2005. The victim says they had sex over 70 times. Prasad has pled not guilty to 13 counts of sexual abuse, including sodomy and lewd acts on a child.
A second teacher has now been removed from Miramonte Elementary School in Los Angeles on abuse allegations. The teacher's name has not been released and has not been charged with any wrongdoing. Mark Byrne, another teacher at the school, had his bond raised to $23 million. He's charged with taking lewd pictures of his students. In some photos, young children were seen with cockroaches in their faces and eating spoonfuls of semen and sugar. Investigators believe the acts took place between 2008 and 2010. The victims range from ages 6 to 10. If convicted, Byrne risks a sentence of life in prison.
And a security breach here at City College over winter break. We'll have all the details when we come back.
And fans are gearing up for Super Bowl 46. Will the Patriots get their revenge over the Giants? Stay tuned. You'll find out in sports.